Baptism is the door to Christian life. It is more than a symbol. In baptism, God gives new life by water and the Spirit, joins us to Christ's death and resurrection, and makes us members of His body, the Church. The Catechism calls baptism the gateway to life in the Spirit, and says it frees us from sin and rebirths us as children of God. Jesus Himself taught that one must be born of water and the Spirit to enter God's kingdom, and the Church has long understood this as a reference to sacramental baptism. Scripture also links belief and baptism with forgiveness and the gift of the Spirit, for example, Acts 2:38 and Mark 16:16. And Paul explains that baptism unites us to Christ's death and rising, so we live a new life. The practice of baptizing believers appears in the New Testament and in the earliest Christian writings outside the Bible. The Didache, for instance, gives clear instructions for baptism by living water, and even allows pouring when immersion is not possible, showing the early Church's care for making the sacrament available in real life. From the beginning, the Church baptized infants as well as adults, because baptism is a gift of grace, not something earned by human understanding. The Church sees this as consistent with how God works in families and with how Scripture speaks of God's covenant and welcome. The Church also teaches that baptism is normally necessary for salvation because it is the means Christ gave for rebirth. Yet God's mercy is not limited. The Church recognizes baptism of desire and baptism of blood, and entrusts the fate of those who die without baptism to God's mercy, while calling the faithful to share the gospel and the sacrament. Baptism leaves an indelible spiritual mark. It opens access to the other sacraments and sets the Christian on a lifelong path of conversion, forgiveness, and union with Christ.